everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for the International English Olympiad for Class 8th. Today is our second class in the series. However, this will serve as the first conceptual class, wherein we will be discussing one topic at length, which is synonyms. Synonyms, the meaning is pretty easy to understand, but it can be tricky if you don't know the synonyms of some words. However, we will be covering most of them, we will be covering a lot of them by solving the questions, and I will also be giving you examples. So let's get started.
सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन आता है What exactly are synonyms? Synonyms का सबसे पहले हमें उनका मीनिंग समझना है. All of these words, they mean the same. They have similar meanings, right? So synonyms are words with similar meanings. Okay? यही simple सी definition है synonyms की कि synonyms are simply words with similar meanings. Okay? So let's try to understand it better. Alright, so here you see, just a minute, here what do we have? We have a few examples of what? Synonyms. For example, answer. Here the synonym could be reply, respond, retort, acknowledge. All these words, they are different but they mean exactly the same as answer. Alright, similarly, ask. And if we say ask, it could the synonyms could be question, inquire of, seek information from, put question to, demand, request, expect, inquire, query, interrogate, examine, quiz. All these could be the synonyms of ask. Then similarly, we're talking about awful, something very bad. We could say dreadful, terrible, abominable, bad, poor, unpleasant. Right? Similarly for bad, here bad. All these, you see, all these which you have said for awful, these could be the synonyms for bad as well. But for bad, there's so many. Evil, immoral, wicked, corrupt, sinful, depraved, rotten, contaminated, spoiled, tainted, harmful, injurious. Okay, so here we have a few examples. For example, let's start with here begin. Now begin is a word whose synonyms could be start, open, launch, initiate, commence, inaugurate, or originate. All these words, they mean the same as begin. They can be used interchangeably, which means instead of begin, you can either say initiate or inaugurate or launch. Alright, all these mean the same. Then next word, big. It sees so many synonyms. Try to incorporate as many synonyms as possible. Enormous, huge, immense, gigantic, vast, colossal, gargantuan, large, sizable, grand, great, tall, substantial, mammoth, astronomical, ample, broad, expansive, spacious, stout. Okay, another few synonyms. Let's just go through them. Like fascinating, engaging, sharp, keen, bright, intelligent, animated, spirited, attractive, inviting, intriguing, provocative, thought-provoking, challenging, inspiring, involving, moving, titillating, tantalizing, exciting, entertaining, piquant, lively, racy, spicy, engrossing, absorbing, consuming, gripping, arresting, enthralling, spellbinding, curious, captivating, enchanting, bewitching, appealing. Right. The other word keep, hold or retain or withhold or preserve or maintain or sustain or support. Other one could be to kill, slay or execute or assassinate or murder or destroy or cancel or abolish. Right, so many synonyms. Okay, here again, end. Synonyms could be stop, finish, terminate, conclude, close, halt, cessation, discontinuance. Then another word, enjoy. These synonyms could be appreciate, delight in, be pleased, indulge in, luxuriate in, bask in, relish, devour, savor, like, explain. This could be synonymous for elaborate, clarify, define, interpret, justify, account for. Other word, fair. This could again be synonymous for words like just, impartial, unbiased, objective, unprejudiced, honest. Right here you see so many synonyms could exist with just one word. That's the beauty of English. Now instead of using the word explain again and again, you could use different words like interpret or justify. Or instead of just saying I enjoyed myself, or you can say I was pleased, I relish today's experience, or I appreciate today's experience. So these kind of synonyms you can use, and this improves your vocabulary. All right. Here again, scared could be called as afraid, frightened, alarmed, terrified, panicked, fearful, unnerved, insecure, timid, shy, skittish, jumpy, disquieted, worried, vexed, troubled, disturbed, horrified, terrorized, shocked, petrified, haunted, timorous, shrinking, tremulous, stupefied, paralyzed, stunned, apprehensive. Another word is show. Could be called as display, exhibit, or present, or note, or point to, or indicate, or explain, or reveal, or prove, or demonstrate, or expose. Slow could be called as unhurried, gradual, leisurely, late, behind, tedious, slack. Stop is synonymous to cease, halt, stay, pause, discontinue, conclude, end, finish, quit. Now see, if you would know so many synonyms for words, for simple words, imagine how much it could include your vocabulary. All right. Okay, so here we have fat, and this is synonymous to stout, corpulent, fleshy, beefy, paunchy, plump, full, rotund, tubby, pudgy, chubby, chunky, pearly, bulky, elephantine. And fear. The next word is fear. this could be synonymous to here fright, dread, terror, alarm, dismay, anxiety, scare, awe, horror, panic, apprehension. Right. Other word is fly, and this is synonymous to words like soar, hover, flit, wing, flee, waft, glide, coast, skim, sail, cruise. All right. Then there are a few more like funny. It is the same as humorous, amusing, droll, comic, comical, laughable, silly. Another verb which is get. So we have a few more synonymous verbs like acquire, obtain, secure, procure, gain, fetch, find, score, accumulate, win, earn, rep, catch, net, bag, derive, collect, gather, clean, glean, pick up, accept, come by, regain, or salvage. Instead of go, what words can you use? Recede, depart, fade, disappear, move, travel, proceed. Alright, I hope you have understood these words and how one simple word, see fat, one simple word funny can be synonymous to so many words which you use instead of our common words like fat or fear or fly. It is going to give a very good impression, and even you will feel more confident that while everybody is using the same old words, you are using new vocabulary and adding new word meanings and synonyms. All right, let's move on. Alright, so there will be a subtopic that we will be taking in today's class alongside synonyms, which is analogies. Now what an analogy is, it basically compares two things that are mostly different from each other but have some traits in common. Now, to simplify, what is going to happen in analogies is you will be given a set of words, alright. You will be given 4 to 5 words, and out of which you will have to choose the odd one out. Now these analogies, this is the exercise of an analogy, where all these words, they will be sort of similar to each other, but there will be one word that might be an antonym, that might be something absolutely different or otherwise. So there will be this one word which you will have to choose from the options. Okay, pretty easy exercise. I have included this as a sub-part of synonyms because in most of the analogies, you see most of these words, like suppose if 5 words are given, so out of these 5 words, usually 4 are synonyms of each other, and then 1 is this odd one out. So that's why I've included this as a part of synonyms only. Alright, that's why we will be doing more than the regular number of questions in this class. But this will be simple, आपकी practice ही होगी. Alright, let's start. Right. So now we have learned what synonyms are. Now the time is to play the quiz. अगर आपको लगता है you are not clear, you can rewind the video, watch it again. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright, now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO. So it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. Alright, so now let's start with the questions. Here what we have to do is, in the first category it says choose the correct synonym of the given word. So we are given a certain word, we have to see the other words and then choose the correct synonym as per the given word. What was a synonym? The word which means similar in meaning. Now one thing you have to be very careful about is that these synonyms, they are not always replaceable. Although they are the words with similar meanings, but you cannot always replace one synonym with another, because although they have similar meanings but they are not the same. So just be careful about that. And in these options also you may see some words which might be slightly similar but the other word might be more similar. So you have to choose the synonym which is the most similar. All right, so that's how we work in objective questions. Here there will be only one correct answer, right? So you have to give it your best shot and choose the one which is the most similar. Okay, now here let's decide. Let's see. The word is adjourn. Options are decide, hasten, postpone or continue. Adjourn actually is used in sentences like, the meeting is adjourned or the court is adjourned, right? It is sort of, we can say, an ending or like a postponement. So the synonym is see postpone. Okay, and here I will be explaining the meanings of those words which I think you might not know or might seem a little confused for you, might seem a little confusing for you. So I'll tell those meanings, not all of those, because the majority of the words are pretty similar, and since you are in class 8, I expect you to know these meanings by now. So here hasten actually means to hurry up. Decide and continue the other words. I expect you to know the meanings. Okay, here we have admonish. The options are applaud, pacify, warn, and appeal. Now, admonish refers to giving a sort of warning, I can say. All right. So, warning or scolding to someone or advising someone very encouragingly or very strong advice, that is admonish. So the word which means the most similar, which is like on the similar lines, is see warn. All right. Then we have applaud. Applaud can be used to appreciate someone, whereas we have pacify. Pacify actually means bringing about actually no reducing, in the sense reducing the anger or the agitation of someone. That's pacifying. Then appeal, I'm pretty sure you know. Okay, the next word is annex. The options are A, detach, B, divide, C, base, or D, attach. Now, annex, I'm sure you must have heard in your history books like this ruler annexed this territory. Okay, this annexation is actually referred to, they capture the territory and they make it their own territory. All right, annex it and add it to their own, so that becomes their part of their kingdom. So here the correct synonym, which means the word which is the most similar on lines, is D, attach. All right, and the opposite here would be detach or divide. Okay, here we have boldness, meek, effortless, or cowardness. So here I think this one's pretty easy. Boldness, noun meaning strength. Okay, and the word with similar meaning is deep valor, strength and valor. It also means a person's strength. Okay, braveness. Other words like meek is an adjective which means some sort of which weak means weak, can be an antonym. Cowardness again an antonym. Effortless is actually something that doesn't require effort. Okay, so it it may seem like an antonym in one sense, but not like a direct synonym. Okay. Okay, here the word we have is desire. The options are aspiration, destination, security, or reduce. Pretty easy. Desire can be a verb, can be a noun as well. Here the correct answer is A, aspiration. Alright. The other options we have are destination, security, reduce. Destination, security, reduce. Destination, the aim of some place, security, reduce. Sure, you know their meanings. These are pretty easy. Okay, next we have displayed. The options are kept, rusted, removed, exhibited. Displayed show something. Okay. The word with similar meaning is exhibited. The nearest synonym here. Although kept could also be said to be a synonym in one sense, but you see here which is more similar is exhibited. You display something, you put it on exhibition sort of thing. Okay. Alright, here we have enchant. The options are A. Chant, B. Charm, C. Disturb, or D. Tire. Here, enchant. Enchant can be said to be the synonym of be charm. Actually means mesmerizing someone. Okay. I got enchanted by her. I got charmed by her. Okay, mesmerized and really being really appreciative of. Okay. Okay, the next word is eventually. The options are suddenly, ultimately, quickly, initially. Here, eventually means something that happens next. Alright, eventually this happened, which means finally this happened. So the correct synonym is B, ultimately. Ultimately means finally, in the end, this happened. Okay. Then we have suddenly, quickly, initially. Suddenly happens something suddenly, quickly, something that happens, in a hurryful manner. Then we have initially, something that happens at the beginning, in the initial stage. Alright, here the next word we have is exponent, and here the options are A, meddler, B, cancel, C, advocate, or D, horrid. Now here the word we have is exponent. Now exponent actually means someone who supports you, like a supporter, and tries to persuade other people in favor of you. It is a noun. Okay. And for exponent, the nearest synonym is advocate in the options. Advocate. Now this person is your advocate. Actually, as a profession, is referred to as a lawyer. And what's the job of a lawyer as well? To support you, to say arguments for you, right? So that is one thing. That is one noun. That is for a lawyer we use the word advocate, because that is a profession, person who supports you in court. Whereas advocate as a verb also means supporting someone, like I advocated for my brother. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that I am his lawyer, but it actually means that I supported him and his views and opinions. All right, that's an advocate. The antonym could be meddler. Meddler is a person who basically meddles. And what is meddling? Is interfering in something that is not their concern, which is like, people putting their nose in your business, right? So that's a meddler. Okay, the next word we have is grubby. Here, grubby, the options are new, superb, muddy, and hygienic. Now, grubby actually means something that is, full of dirt. Okay, that's why grubby. So, pretty easy here. The correct answer is C, muddy, the antonym. Sorry, the synonym. So sorry. Okay, here the word is infrequent. The options are A, never, B, usual, C, rare, or D, regular. Here, infrequent, something that doesn't happen really often. So pretty easy. The correct answer is C, rare. That happens on less occasions. Never is something that has no chances of happening. Usual and regular, something that happens regularly. Okay, on continuous occasions, regular occasions. Okay, here we have installed. The options are prepared, established, refused, and manufactured. Here, installed. Installed means installing something, starting something new. Okay, so the nearest synonym here is B, established. Establish something, install something, which means starting something new. Okay, whereas here prepared and manufactured is actually making something new. Refuse is the act of saying no. Refused, said no. Okay, here the word is interrogate. The options are to question, to stop, to interfere, or to enter. Here pretty easy. The correct answer is A. Interrogate means to question something or someone. Alright, to question. The other to stop, to interfere, to enter, pretty sure you know their meanings. Okay, here the next word is liberal. The options are conservative, generous, visionary, and imaginative. Now, liberal, in one sense means someone who's free, and we can also refer to liberal as someone, who is be generous. Generous in the sense, and free in the sense that, they have a large heart and welcome other people. That's liberal or generous. Okay. The opposite is conservative. Okay, so here the next word is mustard. The options are mastered, scattered, gathered, and removed. Here the correct answer, which means the synonym of mustard, is gathered. Now you see mustard, I don't know, sure, I'm not sure if you've heard of it or not, but mustard, in whatever sense I have heard of it, is used in sentences when we say that for example, you are scared of someone like your parents or certain teacher, and you don't really know how to go and ask them for someone. So when you go to them finally and ask for something or request something, so you do that with a lot of courage. You first have to gather a lot of courage. So in that sense, we say sometimes that I mustered my courage and went up to him and said this. This is gathering of courage. That's why we use it in the sense of gather. These are synonyms. Then you have scattered, removed. These can be said to be the antonyms. Okay, here we have pacify. We just did the meaning of pacify. I'm pretty sure you have answered this correctly. Pacify means what? Gather, allot, calm or remit. It means calm. Pacifying something, calming something, advocating peace. All right. Here we have the word placid. The options here are dull, clamorous, serene, or wild. Now here you see placid actually means someone who is, it's an adjective, means something, someone who is calm and peaceful. Alright, so here the correct synonym could be serene, calm and serene. The other options like here dull, again dull can be a dull can be a synonym in one different sense, but here placid actually is more similar to serene. Alright, now something, when we use placid in the sense, when we are referring to it as something without any movement, then in some sense we can say dull, okay, which is a far sense. But in the nearer sense, placid actually means something that is peaceful and calm. So the more appropriate synonym here is serene. The other words we have here is clamorous. Clamorous is something, again an adjective, making a loud noise. Then clamorous and wild, both of these can be said to be the antonyms. Okay. Alright, the next word is presume. Here the options are A. Resume, B. Assume, C. Deny, or D. Expect. Pretty easy. Presuming actually means assuming something, something that you think to be true. You assumed it to be true. Alright. Okay, here we have prohibit. The options are allowed, forbid, accept and habit. Here prohibit means saying no to something. So prohibit, the correct synonym is B, forbid. Forbid, not allowing something to happen, saying no to something. Okay, the other words allowed and accept, these can be said to be the antonyms of prohibit and forbid. Here we have rebate. The options here are commission, discount, loan and interest. Now rebate is actually a form of a discount. But let me tell you the difference between these two. Let me clear a bit of your financial matters. Let me tell you. Now discount is something, suppose you go to a shop and you see that this thing is worth 100 rupees. Okay. And the shopkeeper is offering you a 10% discount. Then that discount means अगर 10% discount है, so how much amount will you have to pay? You will have to pay 90 rupees. So you pay 90 rupees and you get this thing. That is a discount. But rebate will be when if they say there's a 10% rebate. Now 10% rebate actually refers to this sense that you go and this thing is for 100 rupees. If there is a 10% rebate, then you have to pay the 100 rupees completely, but then in future you will get these 10%, this 10 rupees as as a certain sort of a cashback, or you will it will get deducted from another product or sometime in the future. So at this point you have to pay 100 rupees. That's the difference between rebate and discount. Okay, but both are similar in meanings. मतलब यहाँ पे हम financially point of view से discuss नहीं कर रहे हैं. So these are similar in meanings. In English, yes, they can be called direct synonyms of each other. Okay, commission, loan and interest. These are again other financial things. Loan is something that you borrow. Like if you borrowed 100 rupees from your friend and you said that I will give it back to you tomorrow, sort of a loan. But suppose you borrow some money, like people borrow loans from banks for years, for months and years. Suppose they take 1,000 rupees as loan, and on that they pay a certain amount of interest as well, which is monthly or annually. Okay, so if annually the interest is 10%, so on 1,000 rupees they will be paying 100 rupees extra as interest. Okay, then commission is actually referred to in the matter of sales or some trading. That is, suppose there is a shopkeeper or there is a person who is buying goods for 100 rupees. Okay, then he is selling it for 120. Okay, a person buys good for 100, sells it for 120. Okay, so here here he is buying goods for 100. So this 100 rupees out of 120 he will give to the manufacturer, and 20 rupees he keeps for himself as his commission. Okay, that's what commission is. This was pretty एकदम financial maths वाला question हो गया, but however I hope you've understood these concepts. Okay, here we have revenge, divergent, obey, and cringe. Okay, now here the correct answer is B. Sorry, the word is revenge, and the correct answer is D. Avenge. Okay, avenge matlab badla lena. Alright, now the other words here like divergent. Divergent is also a book. It's also a series of books which is, written by Veronica Roth, and then there's this movie also made on it. It's a pretty interesting and gripping book if you read it. However, coming back to the topic, divergent actually means something that, develops in different directions, diverging from one source, going to different directions. That is divergent. Then we have obey. Obey means following, obeying someone, which means following whatever they said. Then we have cringe. Cringe as a verb actually means someone who, to be exact, to be literal, someone who bends one's head and who bends one's head in certain fear. Okay, that's cringing, the act of cringing. Alright, the next word we have here is reverence. The options are A. Relief, B. Respect, C. Compensation, or D. Slander. Reverence actually means, paying reverence to someone, paying respect to someone. Okay. And here compensation and relief, these can be said to be synonyms of each other. Then here we have slander. Slander actually means the making insulting and false statements about someone. When you slander someone, you make insulting and maybe untruth, spread rumors about them. Okay, which have with these rumors which have the potential of damaging their reputation. That's called slandering. Right. All right, now here we have satisfaction, satisfaction. The options are gloom, predict, contentment, and expectation. Satisfaction, pretty easy. The synonym is what? See, contentment. Happiness, satisfaction, joy. Gloom means sadness, so it can be said to be an antonym. Okay, predict and expectation, these can be said to be synonyms of each other. Alright, now here we have the word showy. The options are rowdy, hungry, greedy and gaudy. Now showy actually refers to someone who flaunts a lot. Showy, this person's showing a lot, which means they are flaunting their things a lot. So this can be synonym of gaudy. Again, flaunting and going over the top a little. That's gaudy. Okay. Here pretty easy. We have the word sorrow. The options are regret, admire, joy and cheer. Sorrow, the act of being sad. The synonym is regret. Regretting why something happened, thinking about then it should have happened, being upset and anxious about it. Alright. Admire, cheer can be said to be synonyms. Joy is the opposite of sorrow. Okay, here we have the word sterile. Here the options are potent, barren, fecund or fertile. So yes, sterile actually means something that is very clean in the medical terms. Okay, like something which doesn't have any bacteria or microbes on it. Like for surgery, we use sterile instruments. For even injections or any needles that have to pierce through your body, use sterile instruments, sterilize them and then use it so that they are completely clean. Okay, and here the nearest synonym we can say is barren. Barren actually means barren means something that is bleak and lifeless. Okay, completely clean also. Sterile and barren, they're also used for animals, mammals who cannot produce children. So that's what we mean by lifeless, right? Not able to reproduce. Then here we have potent, fecund and fertile. Fertile can be said to be the antonym of sterile or barren. Here we have fecund. Fecund actually means fecund is actually also a synonym of fertile, we can say. In the similar lines, something that has the capability of producing an offspring, something which is highly fertile. All right. Then we have potent. Potent is someone who has great power or influence. This can also be said to be a synonym of what? Of fecund or fertile. So all these three, these are antonyms of sterile and barren and synonyms of each other. All right. All right, here the next word is sway. The options are influence, male, mislead, or inability. Here, sway actually is a synonym of influence. Sway, influence, encouraging someone, okay, in a positive manner, influencing someone, okay. Then the others, mislead can be an antonym. Fail also can be an antonym in one sense, and inability, although it is a noun, can be said to be an antonym in one sense. All right. Okay, here the next word is vivid. The options are A, realistic, B, timid, C, obscure, or D, instructive. Now, vivid can be a synonym of realistic. Vivid actually refers to the sense wherein something that produces very clear ideas or images. So vivid and realistic can be said to be synonym in one sense. Then other we have timid. Timid is actually someone who's shy or dull in one sense, okay, can be said to be an antonym. Then we have obscure. Obscure, someone who's not certain. And if you use obscure as a verb, we can say something that has been obscured, which means something has been hidden. All right. Okay, so here the word is wonder. The options are disregard, wonder, wonder, astonishment, and convince. Here the correct answer is C, astonishment. Wonder and wonder, these are pretty confusing, can be pretty confusing if you let them be. Wonder actually means, like we have 7 wonders of the world, 7 astonishing monuments of the world, which means something that surprises you, something that you're in awe of. Alright, whereas here this wonder actually means like roaming around, generally wandered off to the woods, just went off to the woods, roaming around. Okay. Next we have wretched. Options are worthy, bright, miserable, and transfer. Here the correct answer is C, miserable, wretched. Like my heart wretched with sorrow, which means my heart became miserable with sorrow, or at the plight of the migrant workers, by reading that story. So wretched, miserable. Right. Okay, here for synonyms, we have the last 5, 31 to 35 questions, which are the HOTS questions. Let's do them very carefully. Here the word is ardent. The options are avid, frigid, dull, and cool. Now, ardent actually means someone who is, very passionate and enthusiastic. Okay, it is a synonym of avid. Now, like when I say I'm an avid reader, it means that I read as much as I can. All right. So again, very enthusiastic and committed. Okay. So ardent, avid. Right. Now, if you see the other options here, like we have frigid and dull and cool. Now, all these can actually be said to be antonyms of ardent and avid. They act in one sense that they refer to someone who is, not very enthusiastic and just, very easygoing, and dull and cool, like very chill, that sort of manner. So, lacks enthusiasm. Okay, so the next word is eccentric. Here the options are usual, familiar, erratic or conventional. Now eccentric means something that is, not usual, or we can say a non-conventional sort of behavior, some sort of strange behavior. Okay, that's eccentric. So here the synonym accordingly is here, erratic. Yes, erratic. Now if you see at the other words, usual, familiar, conventional, all these can be antonyms. Okay, whereas eccentric and erratic, erratic also means something that is, random and not really consistent. Okay. Alright, here the word we have is chastise. The options are pious, guard, scold, and aid. Now, chastise actually is a synonym of scold. Chastise, scold, they mean, sort of reprimanding someone. When you scold someone, like, chastise is basically, sort of a violent manner. Okay, chastise, scold. Scold, these are synonyms. Then the other words here, pious. Pious, you must have heard of the phrase pure and pious, involving purity and very sweet and gentle. Guard and aid, I'm pretty sure you know what they mean. Alright, the next word here is relinquish. Here the options are assert, abandon, retain, or claim. Here relinquish. Relinquish is the synonym of be abandoned. Sort of leaving something, quitting something, letting it go. That's abandoning, relinquishing. We have assert, asserting a claim, which means emphasizing on it. Retain, keeping something, claiming, agreeing with something, saying, claiming something to be true. All right. Alright, here, so the next word is staple. Here the options are extra, minor, trivial or essential. Now, like staple we use for staple diet, which means some sort of an essential diet, like the basic diet. Okay, like the basic diet, a set staple diet involves certain amount of carbohydrates, certain amount of proteins, etc. Okay, extra, minor, trivial, trivial something not important and very small. Okay, not really serious. Okay. Okay, so now we'll move towards our analogies. What we are going to do in here is, as I already explained, we'll be given some sort of group of words from which we'll have to choose the odd one out. That's why I have put in as a part of synonyms. Okay, let's start. Okay, here what we have to do is choose the word which means differently from the following group of words. We're given a group of words. Choose the one which is odd one out. As I told you, pal, comrade, buddy, rival, companion, fellow. Pretty easy, I'm sure. The correct answer is C, rival. Rival, we refer to your competition, your enemy. Whereas other words like pal, comrade, buddy, companion, fellow, they refer to your well-wisher, your friend. Okay, pal is your friend, comrade is your friend, buddy is your friend, companion can be your partner, fellow, your certain friend also you can refer to as fellow. Okay, next. Command, direct, rule, dictate, petition and impose. Here, the correct answer, the word which is odd one out is B, petition. Why? Let me explain. When we say command, when we say direct, when we say rule or dictate or impose, these words actually refer to giving a certain sort of direction, and it is like an order where you are giving the order and the other person has to follow. You command something, you direct something, rule, dictate. Whereas petition is sort of a request that you put in for a change of rule or something. It's sort of a request. Okay, so the different word here is petition. All the others can be said to be synonyms of each other. Okay, here we have shine, glare, obscure, sparkle, glow, beam. Here, shine, glare, shine, glare, sparkle, glow, beam. All the words except obscure, these can be, these are synonyms of each other, and they actually mean something that is, I think you understand it, something that's shiny, that's very bright. All right. Whereas obscure is something, obscure is something that is uncertain and maybe hidden if you're using it as a verb. All right, we discussed it in one of the questions. Okay, here the next group of words are virtuous, disgraceful, vile, sinful, outrageous, or sinister. Here, okay, you see the correct answer is virtuous. Virtuous is the odd one out. Virtuous actually means someone who's full of virtue, full of right values. Okay. The other words like disgraceful, vile, sinful, outrageous, sinister, they refer to someone who is evil. Okay, the opposite of virtuous. All right. Okay, so here we have shake, shiver, shudder, still, quake, vibrate. Pretty easy, I think. Here the odd one out is still. Still something that is still not moving in a permanent state. Others shaking, shivering, shudder, quake जैसे earthquake आता है, vibrate. All these refer to words that involve a certain movement. Okay. Okay, here we have the group of words famous, renowned, wicked, celebrated, eminent, or pompous. So here the correct answer, the word which is odd one out is C, wicked. Wicked actually means someone who's evil. All right. Then the other words famous, renowned, celebrated, eminent, pompous actually refer to someone who is full of fame, someone who is known by a lot of people. All right. And also here pompous actually someone who's full of oneself. Okay. Thinks very highly of themselves. So this is also a synonym though. Okay. Alright, here we have the group which says graceful, beautiful, elegant, classy, awkward or awkward and seemly. So here the word which is out of context is awkward. Awkward, something acting weird, not in a suitable manner, not in the appropriate manner as per the situation. Others graceful, beautiful, elegant, classy, seemly. I'm pretty sure you know what they mean. Here the next group says admit, deny, accept, acknowledge, concede or confess. Okay, so here admit, acknowledge, deny or allow. The word which means the opposite is deny. Deny means saying no to something, not allowing something to happen. Whereas other words like admit, when you admit that you're wrong, you accept it, you acknowledge it, you concede in it, or you confess it. Okay, all the words, they are synonyms of each other. Here we have accident, calamity, boon, casualty, mischance or mishap. Here the word which is out of context is the boon. Boon actually means some sort of an advantage, some sort of a good thing. Okay, whereas other words, they show that something bad has happened, like an accident has happened, calamity, a natural calamity, casualty is the side effect of a disaster, mischance, mishap, again some bad event has happened. All right. Okay, next up we have scared, anxious, petrified, gallant, fearful and aghast. Now here the word which is out of context is A, gallant. Gallant, this means someone who's strong and brave, behaving in a heroic manner. All right, that's gallant. Other words like scared, anxious, petrified, fearful, aghast, someone who's scared. Okay, pretty easy to understand. Okay, here we have last two questions of analogies here. These are the hot questions. Let's see. The options here are bizarre, old, odd, freakish, ordinary, eccentric and weird. Here the correct answer is D, ordinary. Bizarre, odd, freakish, eccentric, weird, they all refer to someone or something that is strange, not in a usual manner. Okay. Whereas ordinary is something that's usual and normal and regular. Okay, here the options are vivacious, cheerful, alert, zesty, listless, exuberant. They're pretty easy. The correct answer is A, listless. Listless, something who's lifeless and dull and boring. Whereas other words like vivacious, cheerful, alert, zesty, exuberant mean they are adjectives meaning something or someone who's what? Very excited and full of energy. All right. Okay, so with this we finish off with our questions of analogies as well. Synonyms भी हो गए. Okay.
That's all for our class on synonyms. I hope you have understood what synonyms really are and you have noted down if any synonyms were new to you. Keep revising them, keep learning. I will see you the next time. Thank you for watching.